8 years ago, I was drawn to the mysterious Amazon and made a documentary about a tribe defending their ancestral territory against oil companies. Enticed by the mystery of ancient knowledge, I'm returning 8 years later with my new family to meet some of the keepers of the knowledge, the medicine men, the tribal shamans. I'd heard about a sacred vine called Ayahuasca, which enabled the shaman to have visions of the future and communicate with the spirit world and the natural kingdom. I knew that historically, altered states of consciousness have been an integral part of many cultures, and in tribal societies, these states have often been induced by taking hallucinogenic plants, with the shaman acting as the spiritual guide. I was curious as to why the United Nations had outlawed ayahuasca, and I wanted to experience the ayahuasca ritual and gain insights into the shaman's world. My journey would lead me head-on into the global war on drugs.
Every society chooses a small number of substances, no matter how toxic, and enshrines them in its cultural values, then demonizes all other substances, and then persecutes and launches witch hunts against those users.
I am thrust into life-threatening situations between worlds of opposing values. And I experience realities I never even dreamed of.
When the local logging companies decided that the last patch of forest, Terania Creek, needed to be logged, many of the local residents who shared similar feelings and experiences in the forest felt that they were obliged to try and stop that happening, and so we stepped in and had a blockade here, and a few years later it was declared a national park. We managed to sort of save this particular patch of forest, but in all the other areas that have been logged, one of the primary species that goes to reforesting it is the acacia, or the wattle tree as we call it in Australia. So you get them growing all up and down the coast of Australia. It's on the coat of arms, it's a symbol of Australia, the wattle. Interestingly enough, the bark, and in some cases the leaves of some species of the wattle, contain really high concentrations of an alkaloid called dimethyltryptamine, or DMT, which is one of the strongest psychedelics or entheogens known to humans. It's used by the Amazon Indians, not the wattle, but other plants which contain the DMT are used by the Amazon Indians in their ayahuasca brews.
The DMT snuff rituals have been an important part of Amazonian shamans' practices for thousands of years. The shamans derive the DMT from the varola tree and the hacula beans and absorb it through the nasal passages. The snuff is said to be used to induce a trance, to see visions, to communicate with the spirit world, and drive away evil spirits.
Woke up and I was feeling free, so I reached for a branch on the wattle tree, and it was not too bad. All the truth you need to see is written in the bark of the wattle tree.
I think the fact that, in the case of DMT, a match head-sized piece of orange wax can pull your entire philosophical world out from under you in about 15 seconds is very, very interesting.
ayahuasca can be seen as a doorway, a link between the dimensions. When you take the ayahuasca, you can feel the trees, you can feel the plants, you can feel and appreciate the flowers, not just from looking and from an objective point of view, but you can merge with whatever it is that is being beheld. And particularly with nature, there is then this deep dissolving with it until there's this unity is experienced. And this unity is liberating. It's a transforming experience.
When you ask yourself, what is this all about? Why are we here? You encounter many theories and religions and ideas and beliefs. But ayahuasca is the one thing that will give you a direct experience of something truly divine.
Yeah, with ayahuasca I discovered my heart, and I discovered that I can love every piece in life, that every person without any judgment, that teaches you, if you want, everything you want to know, the ayahuasca spirit can tell you.
In the West, we really need ayahuasca. We've become very separated from nature. With our scientific, technological left brain way of being in the West, we've come to see nature as something separate from ourselves, something to be dominated, manipulated, exploited. And ayahuasca teaches that we are it, we are nature, we are not separate from it.
What it brings is an empathy to the destruction of the planet. You know, the cutting of a rainforest is suddenly no longer completely abstract. It's actually something you can feel and relate to. And all political change begins with a change of feeling and value.